great question of like, hey, there's a lot of these metaphors that are present in the texts and in the teachings, but I'm also getting the vibe, or maybe even the instruction, that we're not supposed to use metaphor or rely too much on words or teachings, or maybe the actual state we're looking towards has no metaphor. Did that work? Okay, thank you. 100%. Do you know the best metaphor in the universe? The best metaphor for the universe, for anything in the universe, is only the thing itself. Everything in the universe is either a lemon or not a lemon. Right? Is that right? But if you were to try to convey to someone what a lemon is like, you would say, well, it's like this. It tastes sour. It's yellow like a golden marigold. It's squishy like a, all language is metaphor. There is no word or sign or symbol that can ever accurately convey, transmit truth. So we're kind of hosed, because this old man and 2,600 years of infinitely compassionate teachers are like doing this game where they're pointing at something that cannot be pointed at. So yes, 100%. To rely on signs, symbols, words, languages, religious systems, isms like Buddhism, to rely on these to impart or transmit your own awakening is a fool's errand. It's also the only thing to do. There's no other way to go about it. So even Nibbana, is of course just a metaphor. It's, in the old Pali language, it means something goes out, like a fire goes out, or something becomes cooled and stilled, like vegetables in a pot. So these are all just metaphors. Your name is a metaphor. It's close enough. When I say Elmer, I'm talking about you, right? And lots of traditions make a really big show, and it's very important to them to say, we're not in it to make you believe a set of faith assumptions and words and signs and symbols and think that's the practice. These traditions also have vast libraries full of teachings. So every teaching is an expression of compassion, because wisdom is silence. So anything that anyone ever says to you, even if someone says, hey, I don't like your hat, you're a big stupid jerk, they're telling you how they are in that moment. That's an expression of compassion. So, 100% signs, symbols, language are all lying to you. Every religion is lying to you. I'm lying to you. The old man's lying to you. And I'm hoping that if I get close enough with my little song and dance, that I can be a little tiny bit helpful. Outstanding question. That's a really profound question. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. That's why the Buddha's favorite little catchphrase in the old days when he was teaching was ehi passiko, which is Pali for try it and see. Oh, Master Gautama, you teach your students this, you teach your students that. Hey, ehi passiko, have a seat. Have a little sit down and shut up and see what happens. Let's just try it together. So yeah, that's the other thing, reality testing. That's how we do this. That's how we do everything. Experience is the only teacher. So the question was, how does someone complaining and calling you a jerk about your very nice and stylish hat, how is that an expression of compassion? It's an expression of compassion insofar that all wisdom belongs to the house of silence. All wisdom is prajna paramita. So this is this understanding that Just like Nibbana, the cessation of all fabrication, the ending of all fabrication, the ending of the putting together and the cooking of experience, as my teacher would say. Just experience at its most raw. That's what we're looking for. And so Nibbana is the end of my cooking, of my perceptions, of my... That cannot be communicated. The jug that's full is silent, but the jug that's half empty sloshes and makes noise. So even if someone doesn't like my very stylish facial hair, and they're telling me about it, they're not saying anything about me. They're telling me about themselves. And that's beautiful. So it may not be nice. I may not want to hear it. I might go home and cry and ask my wife to tell me, no, your facial hair is very nice. But any communication is compassion, especially any teaching. So if compassion can be seen to be the expression and turning towards connection of one to another, it's compassion. The availability to connection is compassion. So compassion, if it's defined in a very small way of compassion is when someone hurts themselves or gets hurt and you feel bad and you want to help. That is compassion for sure. But in its most expanded sense, compassion is the availability to presence. It's the availability to connection. So even if someone, like I said, says something to you that isn't terribly nice, they're communicating something about their internal state. I mean, somebody calls you a horrible name and treats you awfully. They're telling you exactly where they are right now. And actually, that's a very nice thing to hear, because then you know. And you can be like, as my very first teacher, well, my very first guru when I was young used to say, everything is God, but the tiger god and the speeding truck god and the murderer god you bow to from far away. You cross the road and bow. Your mother god, your teacher god, you hug them and you're so happy to see them and you serve them nicely. But the tiger god, you get safe distance and bow. But everybody gets your worship.